Morning, Jules here from Joolsedesigns at JT Creations. Welcome to my channel. So it's another back to basics on the lap book, and what we're doing this week is we're making a bookmark and a pocket to go there, and we're going to do an easy waterfall to go there. The waterfall, you can put anything on, you can put pictures, usually photographs, things like that. So this was 5 inches. I don't want it the full 5 inches because that would have been a waste of paper putting that on there. So what I've decided to do is to do a strip of 4 3/4. So I've already cut my pieces out. So I've got a piece at 4 3/4, 11 1/4 by 4 3/4. That's that one. I've got another piece that's 7 1/4 by 4 3/4. They're all 4 3/4 widths. I've got 8 flaps that are 4 inches by 4 3/4, because I'm going to have 8 flaps coming down. And what I did was I kind of decided what and then put them down, and that's why I wanted 8. And then I've got a strip that's 9 1/2 by 1 3/4. Now this is the mechanism, and this is what we're going to be working on first. So I've already scored it. So what I would normally do is 11 1/4. So I would put it up there and score 8 score marks. So from 1/2 inch, every 1/2 inch till 4. This isn't the greatest. Yeah, 4. So it's like 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2 inches, 2 inch, 2 1/2, 3, 3 1/2, and 4. And give it a good score. And then what we do is we then crease it on all the. And when you're working with card, this can sometimes be a little bit. And when you're creasing it down, make sure that your sides are equal. And it's probably better and give it a good score. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it that way as well. So we're going to have it that way. And then what I want to do is I want to put these little flaps on here. I'm going to glue them on so it's easier if you do it that way. If you've got, make sure that your card when it's folded is lined up with the sides. So you can see it's lined up with the sides. Then when you put that piece of card on there, you can line it up with the top and the bottom. So what we do is we don't go over the crease, just do it in between. You can go close to the crease and then make sure when you put your card down there it's matching up with the sides and that it's not covering that crease, so that you can bend your card like that, and you can bend it that way. And then do the next one. So I find I can get a straighter line if I keep my hand on my desk. It's not that much straighter. And again, don't go over the bottom crease. So now you're doing it in between. and then put your next one on. Now I'm standing up and sitting down for this, and again just push it up to that crease. Make sure your card's lined up. For what I use it for mainly, because usually when I use a glue stick it means I'm going to stitch over. Whoops. And then we put that one on there, and I'm just going to stand up and make sure I've got my and there we are, so we've got our waterfall. And that will just go up like that. And you can use any type of papers. So now what we want is this is going to be the backing, and this needs to go around here. So this is your 1 1/4. You don't want too much, because this is going to slide through here. Right, okay. I'll put this on first. So this is 9 1/4 inches, and normally I would score this on a scoreboard. If you don't have a scoreboard, just make sure it's straight. So I'm just pulling it down to the edge there, and I'm just going to score not tight to the edge. So I'm using that so it's not tight to the edge. That was a bit wonky. Okay, so this is now going to go on here, and this is going to stick on, and I'm going to glue that on. I'm just going to give that, I'm just going to straighten this edge up a bit. So it's kind of, you can move it slightly. Obviously you don't want it too tight. I'm just straightening these up. I should have done it on a scoreboard to start with, shouldn't I? Right. Got your flaps on. And make sure it's all creased. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to, I should have done this beforehand, but I'm going to do the corners. Okay, so we've got our nice little corners there. Now as we've already marked this, what I want to this gets glued onto the back. I want to glue this on here like this, and your folds, and I'm going to do it about an inch up, and make sure your creases are either side of that. Again, straight line if you can. And again, roughly an inch, making sure that these side pieces, and what happens is that goes round there, and you pull that down like that and push that back up like that. And that gets stuck to the book. But what I'm doing is I'm going to put an extra piece down, and we're going to stick this to it, and then we're going to stick this whole panel to the book. But first of all, I'm going to do these. And then we just place that on top of that. And you don't want to go too near the crease. Put that down like that. And the reason I do a square is so that I know where to go, and then I accidentally slipped off there. So there we are. And just let the glue grab. Then this whole piece gets stuck in, and that's how it should go. And it's a whale tail, but it's not a whale tail as... So what you do is you fold your card over. So you put that, and that fold goes up to that notch like that. And there we are. We have our whale tail. And it's a... I got that from Temu. It was about £11, but I wasn't going to pay. I mean, some of these whale tail punches that the stopped doing, that some of them are going for £100 and odd on eBay. If you've got that kind of money, great, but unfortunately I don't. And that's where that's going to go. And then you've just got that little tab, and we'll put a grommet in it and a nice little bit of ribbon. Make sure that that is the one. Make sure it's in the middle. If you want to get it precisely in the middle, measure it. If you're not that bothered, guess it. And then just and then we've got that. So there we are. And as I said, that bottom bit won't go down, but because we've put this in, we can put that whole thing in the journal. So I'm just and then decide where you want this. Now I want it kind of me, and I'm going to pull this down like that, and I'm going to lift this up because it's the back bit of card that's getting stuck down, so you can see and we'll lift that up and put that under there, and that just allows you to put that there. Now, to make this a little bit prettier, that's just under 1/2 inch. So you can put, so you've got 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inches. So you can get yourself a nice pattern. We could do the heart balloon and do this. So that's 4 3/4. So we want it just less than 4 3/4 width. So just let me cut this out there. So I've just cut it 1/8 either side under because I want a little bit of the black. Then I want this at, so we want the top of the heart just under the numbers. So this is the top one, so that's 1. 2, 3, 4, we need 8. Camera. So now we need to get this, so it's like a jigsaw puzzle, so that we know that's the top one, that's the next one, that's the next one because it's got a bit of a dent. That's that one, that's that one, that's that one. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So we'll put the bottom one on first, and we need to round the corners. So because this corner around it isn't the, you need to make sure that the edge is there. Make sure that you can see the edge, otherwise you'll cut it too much. And we'll stick that on. I'm not going to ink round it because we've got, it's going on black card, we don't need to ink round it. If it was going on white card, maybe, but make sure that you get it in perfect place. Before you stick it on. Again, just using the edge, put it up, but make sure you can see that edge. And again, put it up against the edge, make sure you can see the edge. And that bit goes on there like that, and as you can see you get a continuous picture. And it looks quite stunning actually. Fiddly, but stunning. And where then it's easier for you. So if you've never done this before and you do want to mess on with the corners, but you want to put a nice picture, I would leave it just square. It looks just as effective. And there we are, match those, the balloon lines up, and there we are. I'm it in there with a ribbon, so I'm just going to use my crocodile. I was just letting the glue settle and just make sure that it was totally glued. And just guess in the middle. And that's probably too big, but I have got some smaller cream, but sorry, not as wide, but I quite like this one. So just pulling a loop through, and this is satin ribbon and it's satin on both sides, so you've not got the non-satin side to worry about, because that's the only thing when you buy ribbon. If you buy ribbon that's not satin on both sides, and then push that up, there we are, and just going to cut that off like that, and I'm going to do that one that way, like that. And there we've got that. So we've got that, and then just it will go flat once you've been on. So there we are. So is that not? And you could put a message, you can journal on that bit. You can journal on all those bits. I mean, what you can do is, I've seen it where you put a photograph, journal on the back, photograph, journal on the back, if you use white card. But that's basically that. And yeah, it does lift off there, but it still looks nice. And it doesn't take up too much room. And there we've got our pocket. So now we've got our bookmark. And let me see what I've got now. I've got this, I'm not quite sure what it's, so it's 2 3/4, and I want my bookmark about 2 inches, so I think we'll do a 1/4 inch crease on both sides, and we'll see what that's like. In fact, we'll just go in. So this is inches, so it's got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. It's got eighths. So what, instead of doing a 1/4 inch, which is 2/8, I'm going to do 3/8, and turn that round. Three-eighths, and then we'll do 3/8 at the bottom as well. And what I'm doing is I'm going to cut these corners off. And then what we should have is 2 1/4 in the middle. No, we've got 2 inches in the middle. So our bookmark needs to be just under 2 inches. I'm going to measure it now I've got it folded. 2 1/8. So we want a nice piece of paper that is two inches. Should we use a little bit of, we'll see what's on this side and we'll see what goes. Doesn't really matter. I think we'll do the blue bit because it goes nice with that. So I'm just going to cut it a little bit, just under 2 inches. Don't know whether that's the right way or not, doesn't really matter. And we'll have that there. I'm going to mark that there and trim that off. And I'm going to do thumb notch, but we're just going to have this one as a thumb notch, so I'm just going to open it out. I'm going to put that, in fact I'm going to turn that round that way and just placing that in the middle. Just going to put that up, place that in the middle, put it up there. And then when we pull that down like that, we've got that there. So we'll put this in. Where we want it. And just going to take a little bit more off this one. That's it. Just giving it a good crease. And this is the same black card that I used for the waterfall, so it's black core card, it's not the brownie, although it would have been nice to use it on this, it probably would have been okay, but definitely not for the waterfall. And I'm going to pop that on there and just make sure that it's equal. And then, so kind of just under a 2-inch is good for that. And as long as you get your edges glued, you don't have to put a lot of glue in the middle. I do, but you don't have to. Don't put a lot of glue, but and this is a lot easier to do than the waterfall. And then what I'm looking for now, got some of that, and that's okay. So I'm just going to trim this down a little bit. And that is measuring it on this. This is just a neat under 2 inches, so we want this two-eighths under 2 inches. And that will go on there. Now somewhere along the line I've got a wonky cut, so just let me. Just going to trim that off. And that's got bits written on it, that's fine. So we're just going to go over that, and I'm going to ink round this because it's on card, and this is kind of a blacky brown, so and we'll ink round this. In fact, I'm going to angle it angle this. So if you do it with the same angle, when you pull it down it should and I've done bookmarks with acetate That's quite good. You put 2 pieces of acetate and then I stitched them and I put pictures in between. I've done that with the Christmas journal, and it was quite, and then I did a vellum, tall vellum pocket for it, embossed, and it's quite effective. And I was wondering whether to put one of those bookmarks in here, but I think we'll do that for another video where you use bits of acetate, and you can get acetate from all over, like packaging. Cellophane's a bit flimsy, but acetate, it's quite good. Now I'm going to stand up and do this because this will grip. Okay, sorry about that, the video cut off. So this was the finished product. I put a little straight from the heart. I put some label on that, loving moments, and again another one straight from the heart, but they're on gold paper, and that just fits in there nicely. I also put an ID card slot in and put some ribbon on. So we've got our waterfall card, and we've got our book page envelope, bookmark envelope and bookmark. I also put it was some paper that was left. I put that in the middle on the spine, and I might decide to put something in there. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure yet. We'll see, because we could put some little pockets on there. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Bye.